I travel the world. I take pictures of cool cars. 24 hours ago, I was north of Scotland with Von Gittin Jr. on a series of islands.
What?
And we were shooting his electric drift car in and out of the tunnels of this island.
TRC. We're here at Gridlife Alpine Horizon 2021 here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I got with me Chris Forsberg.
Yeah, no, we got a little bit of a spread here. So we have my Formula Drift competition car. Took that out for a couple laps, a little bit of test and tune with it this weekend.
Cool.
We got the GLTZ, as we call it, which is our 370Z we run in the GLTC series.
Okay. And that's the power to weight series, right?
Yeah, power to weight and to tire. So it's a big combo. We have Brian Highcotter. He used to drive the Nissan GT3 GTR, running this car for us, so absolute shredder, just won the last race.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is my Infinity, which is an M56 with a V8 motor in there. 4-seater drift car, one of, if not the first 4-seater drift car. I built this thing 10 years ago.
Wow.
Alex Yeager, our pro spec driver for Formula Drift, is driving this weekend. So this car I built about 10 years ago, and it was like one of, if not the first 4-seater drift car. It makes about 600 horsepower, which is pretty good, but it's not really enough. You really do need that extra power to carry 4 people. And so this
that's
one,
what this is for.
Yeah, so I wanted to do a fresh new build on my take of just a fun party car, and so we went with the Altima. It's the newest.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's the newest body design from Nissan, big 4-door party car. So we basically hollowed the whole thing out. The only thing factory left on it outside of the body would be basically the door jambs. Bumper, hood, roof, and all that is factory. What I'm saying, as far as like the frame, not just body panels, it's just those cutouts around the doors. So that part's factory, but everything else has been hollowed out completely inside and out from the back.
So how does that compare to other cars that you drive? Having that weight so far back, does that affect the drive of the car?
It drives really well. It just makes it really fast because it puts even more weight on the rear, which is not exactly where you would want it when you're already putting people in the back, but it just makes it that much more intense.
Yeah.
But it steers really well and handles really good. We have the BC Racing coilovers. We got the Porsche Max suspension arms. The engine was built by T1 Race, who have all those like 3,000 plus horsepower.
We know all about T1.
So this is from T1. And they're like, what kind of power are you on? Like 2,000?
That's it.
We did, custom up mount turbo manifolds and put the turbos nice and high. And I wanted to go with the double A-arm suspension because I really wanted this to just be like open.
Oh yeah.
So there's no shock tower, there's no spring way up in the air. It just keeps everything nice and condensed. And so just redid the whole thing. Basically everything was designed, like I said, in CAD before we even cut the first tube.
Look at the exhaust right here. You can see it's popping out the hood. I guess like the windshield almost.
Yep.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, so we actually shortened the windshield and built that little cowlant to make the car look a little more like Super GT style.
Yeah.
And it's funny because just that little motion, everyone thinks that we chopped the roof and lowered it.
Really?
But no, we just had the whole frame sitting so low. Like one of my goals was to have, the headlights just like on the ground, the wheel arches above them. So we just like pushed the whole body down, cut everything out, and built a whole new frame setup for it, whole new floor.
Wow.
And just carried it on through the whole car. The floor is like, it's this high off the ground.
Yeah, literally.
So we just like pressed everything down as far as we could.
You got 4 racing seats in here that are all carbon.
And even the seat mount brackets were cut out. We're designed on CAD and everything else.
Okay.
So just trying to get everything to like look really nice, fit really well.
That's crazy.
And we had to clearance the rear arch to fit the GT radials.
This car is so beyond insane. It's not even funny. They got the rear mount radiator set up.
Yep.
And is that your fuel cell sitting right above it?
Yep. So we got a fuel cell back here. Some overflow tanks, our water pump, more of the suspension, of course, radiator. Underneath is the winches quick change. We can adjust the gearing arm. We have a 6XD, 6-speed sequential transmission in it. Motec electronics, Motec 150 ECU. Yeah, pretty much.
The way to go.
It really is. Yeah, this car, it's built with all the parts of a pro car, but then with the chassis of whatever we could come up with. So
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You got the chassis mount wing right here with the goose or swan neck. That's what it is. We're about to go on a ride along with Chris Forsberg in the Valvoline Altima. And I got 2 other people riding with me. What are you guys' names? Anthony. Santa Fe. Anthony and Stephanie from Santa Fe. We're about to go ride with Chris Forsberg in this thing. It's gonna be crazy. Go, y'all. Yo, that was a ride. Wow. Guys, that was unlike anything I've ever experienced. That was a ride, bro. Thank you so much. What'd you guys think?
Big difference from 400 horsepower to 1400, bro. 4-seater, that's definitely a sick feeling. That car was amazing.
Nothing like that. There's nothing like
That's
that.
an experience. If you guys haven't come to Gridlife, you guys haven't experienced drifting, this is the place to come. Right next to me, I have Ryan Turek with whatever this Corolla is. This thing's insane. So what can you tell me about the car, man? We're super excited to have you on the channel and super excited to be able to meet you.
Well, yeah, appreciate you guys coming over. So yeah, this is the Toyota Racing Corolla hatchback.
Okay.
This is the drift car that's purpose-built for drifting by Papadakis Racing.
Okay.
4-cylinder turbo. It's a 2AR Toyota 4-cylinder, stroked at 2.7 liter, full Papadakis Racing R&D package, custom crank. Super Tech valve train, a GSR 4-speed dog box transmission, Twin turbo Supra, rear differential, drive shaft shop axles, drive shaft shop drive shaft, BC Racing suspension, Papadakis Racing, front steering kit, rear suspension kit. This is a trailing arm suspension car as well. And basically all the other odds and ends that you would expect from a race car.
Yeah, definitely. So it's got a full cage, full everything, and standalone, and wow, this is awesome. And I love seeing such a small car just absolutely shred.
It's actually not that small.
Really?
It just looks small. It's so deceiving on the hatchback side.
Yeah.
But it's actually a 104-inch wheelbase, whereas
Wow.
like the 86, I believe, is what, 100 or 101. 350Z is like 102 or 103.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's longer than either of those.
It's longer.
That's crazy.
Yeah, by a hair.
Just
Yeah,
a little bit, but it's still there. Yeah.
Not a lot. This is basically the mirror car of the pro car that I compete in Formula Drift.
Okay. So this isn't actually your actual car that you compete in, but this
Nope.
is a copy of
It's a mirror copy of that, yeah. So there's a couple small differences, like smaller turbo. So instead of 1,000 horsepower that we're running a Pro FD, this is only running 600 because we're running smaller tire, and just you don't need to stress all the components.
That's one of the things that I kind of noticed with the big boys out here, and that, you know, you're one of those guys, that they run the demo cars, which are like detuned and they look the same.
Slightly. Everybody out here is treating this as like an FD practice day.
Okay.
So they're running their low tire pressures, and we're not on that kind of. Then they're running their pro tire too. Like we're not on that setup.
Yeah.
And we've dumped as much grip into this car as we possibly could, and those guys are still like sending it down the straightaway past me. So it's all good. We're out here for fun anyway.
Well, cool. Do you mind if we take a peek at the engine?
Let's do it. Since it's a front engine car, you're always going to have that kind of cab over effect. So yes, they put it back as far as they possibly could. It's because it's on a motor plate. The motor is so light, obviously being full aluminum block and head, that it doesn't feel heavy at all. It feels phenomenal. And the thing has a ton of front grip, which is what I struggled with in other car setups. So
That's crazy. So out of all the cars, I know you had the GT 4586.
Yep.
That car was awesome. We love seeing that all over Donut and all over Hoonigan and all those channels. So what would you prefer? Would you prefer this one or that 4586?
Honestly, I mean, they both kind of have their own thing to do, I guess, or a purpose. But this car is a lot more fun to drive. It's just, this is like the best setup drift car I've ever driven. Okay. And the same goes for the Pro FD car as well. It does a lot of the work for you. It just drives really, really well. It makes it a lot more fun, has a ton of torque, has a 4-cylinder even, and makes plenty of power out here for demos.
So do you mind if we take a look at the interior?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
So we got, obviously, custom transmission tunnel.
Custom transmission tunnel. Steph runs hanger pedals instead of pedal box. He's got an AM dash with Motec PDM. Really nice cage work from the guys.
Yeah, like crazy good cage work. It's really, really tucked away. Like you can't even see it past these little A-pillars right here. That's
the motor. So the motor's a dry sump engine, so the oil tank is right behind this enclosure right here.
Very nice.
Battery box is right here. Obviously, this is Papadakis' signature handbrake right here, and 4-speed dog box.
And then all the ducting in the back, obviously, it's
for the radiator.
For the radiator.
Yep.
So you have a rear mount setup
So
on this?
he runs, but his is a little bit different. He runs as nice and flat and as low to the ground as possible, and more like mid in the car instead of all the way back in the trunk. And more, I think a lot of that, I think it helps because you have a lot more room in a 4-seater.
So we'll move around to the rear of the car. And obviously this is what makes the car look so, short, is because it's a hatchback.
It gives it that effect, yeah.
It's really cool. So you got a rear fuel
So
cell
if your
back
bumper's in the wall, it usually means that your tire and your wheel are also in the wall, since it's just so short. So we had some rain out here, so obviously a little dirty in here, but you can get up in here, you can see the,
right there. That's
and he sucks air from underneath the car.
And then it pushes it back out this way. That's really ingenious. Like I would have never thought, obviously like rear mount radiator setups, they normally sit like right here.
Exactly, they're angled or whatever, however it is, but this thing you just have so much room in the back.
Dude, I can't wait to see you shred this thing tonight.
Thanks,
I know you guys are going back out here in a little bit.
Hopefully it dries up out there, we won't be slipping and sliding, we'll be laying down a bunch of smoke.
Oh yeah, I know Markel went on his first ride with Cleetus today.
Oh, nice,
First drift ride ever.
Hell yeah. In the wet or?
In the wet, yeah. Without the doors.
With no doors on.
Man, well, I appreciate you hanging out with us, talking to us.
Thank you for coming by,
Dude,
guys.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
himself.
What up, guys? How you doing?
Mr. Cleetus McFarland, dude, how you doing?
It's been a minute since I've been on TRC, dude.
It's been a fat minute.
This is actually owned by Vaughn and the
that's what I
RTR
thought,
team.
yeah.
So it's like the Fun Haver Fox.
Yeah, dude.
And you know, there's just a couple events throughout the year that I fly out to and drive for them for the stunt stuff and just the demo stuff. And I'm the captain of the Fox Body, which is fun.
Hell yeah, brother.
So it's got a Ford Performance crate engine in it. It makes like maybe 450 horsepower, so it gets down pretty good. They kind of switch it around to be more adapted to me. I got a tall man seat in it now. Change gear ratio for me. You know, we just change up some stuff and I just come out and rip it. It's a great car.
Yeah, you were ripping it earlier. I remember seeing you out there and you went under the freaking Bronco right there. That's some crazy stuff.
Oh, dude, that was really fun.
So this is definitely a bare bones kind of car.
She's super basic. I'm pretty sure it's a T56, but I don't know. It's such a simple car. Like it doesn't make the insane power. It doesn't have an insane setup. It's got good angle. I can actually keep up with the demo cars pretty good, which are like 300 more horsepower.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know much more in depth about it, to be honest. I just drive.
You're just here having fun, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Gridlife's all about. It's about having fun. And I know I'm having a lot of fun, man. It's awesome to meet you.
Absolutely, good to meet you. You gonna hop in for a ride later?
Yeah, I'm down. Let's go, man.
Sounds good.
We'll go for a ride along and we'll see you guys in there. All right, y'all, I got Markel right behind me. He showed up and came out to Gridlife. He's about to go hop in the car with Cleetus and go drifting in the rain, man.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be crazy. You're gonna get wet because it's got no doors. You guys are gonna get to ride along with Markel and we'll see how that goes.
freaking epic. Man, he drove the crap out of that Fox body. It is raining like heck out here. I am soaking wet on my right side because we had a Fox body with no doors on it. When I tell you Gridlife is life, this is life out here. This is my first trip ever, and I'm riding with Cleet. Crazy.
Bro, you made it back. How was it, bro?
It was epic. This is the wildest ride ever. First time I had ever been drifting. This is my first drift event, and I got to ride with Cleetus.
That's so cool, man.
Talk about a way to get broke in. Now I'm looking for a drift car. Anybody have a drift car for sale?
Are you addicted now?
I'm addicted.
Oh, look who we have next to us. So guys, I'm here in the car with Larry Chen in his Supra and his Mark V. So what can you tell me about the car? What can you tell me about what you do, who you are, all that kind of stuff?
All right, so I'm Larry Chen. I take pictures for a living, and sometimes I get to drive cool cars. My friends at Toyota, they're so nice enough to invite me out to this event. Last year, I took it upon myself, you know, during the shutdown, no one wants to fly, so we actually drove out with this car and my Toyota Corolla to Gridlife.
Okay.
All the way from LA. Wow. And we chased cars all weekend, and it was amazing. It was a lot of fun. And then so Toyota took notice of that, and they're like, hey, why don't you come out on an official capacity to kind of get some filming done for us,
crazy.
You know? Now we're here. I travel the world. I take pictures of cool cars. 24 hours ago, I was north of Scotland with Von Gittin Jr. on a series of islands.
What?
And we were shooting his electric drift car in and out of the tunnels of this island. And then 24 hours later, I go directly from there, 3 flights to here. Now Vaughn and I are driving this.
What?
It's just a crazy life. I'm just so lucky to be able to do this. But this Supra, it's not really that modified. The crazy thing is this, as you probably know from, you know, the drag racing, roll racing scene, street racing scene, the A90 Supra, as much as people like to talk trash about it, it's such a good car. It's a modern sports car.
It's amazing. Look at all these cars, guys. What a view to have behind you. You've got Ryan Turek, Chelsea Denofa. So many like grade A, like S tier, like top tier drivers here.
Top. This is just so much fun for me. You know, it combines my 2 passions of driving cars, playing with cars, and then also filming and photography at the same time. You know, you're obviously helping.
Oh yeah, he's got me on the clicker and everything. I'm taking the photos while he drives.
Yeah. So yeah, the car really it's mostly stock. You know, there's just the basic modifications to make it a good chase car, or even just a good proper street Supra, right? So the KW V3s got some brand new rotiform forged wheels.
Oh, those look so
I'm
sick
so
on this
stoked
car.
on these. It's like very like race car look. I love the center lock look from race cars.
Yeah,
so,
because literally, you have the tool for that, right? That you take off the center cap?
Yeah, so then it hides the lugs or the lug bolts. So it just kind of gives it more of that clean look. And I absolutely love how raw it is, you know, because this is my first time running on them. And, you know, after 2 sessions, look how dirty they are already. It just looks so good, you know? In terms of tires, that's the most grip I've ever driven this car with. The AO52s, they're actually cheater tires. They're actually outlawed in GLTC here at Gridlife because of how sticky they are. So I'm running a 295 square setup, and get this, you can run a 315 square setup on the Supra.
Like stock?
Stock.
A lot of our viewers might not be interested in this, but I know I personally am. I don't know, there's a lot of people out there that are. So what do you...
We are testing out a prototype R3 camera right here.
Wow.
This is what we're using. We're testing it out. That's all I could say. For this one, we're using the 1DX Mark III. I'm using this for stills. And we're switching back and forth stills and video. I like to hard mount because it just kind of gives that sense of speed, especially because as you see, I'm just a couple feet away from these cars as they're going 10/10s. I'm running 16 millimeters on this one, 17 millimeters on this one. So that kind of gives that, it really shows how fast we're going.
Everything about this car, it looks sick, especially with like the Canon livery on it, man. That's so sick.
Yeah,
That's
well,
so awesome.
we just wanted to do something special for Gridlife. I find myself, when I'm on big shoots, when I'm on the big Hollywood shoots, I see the big crane camera car, and instead of actually taking pictures of what I'm supposed to be taking pictures of, I like to take pictures of the camera car, you know, because it interests me so much, and I think they look so badass, but they never get shown.
Yeah.
So I wanted to build one that's purpose for that, to be able to actually take pictures of while I'm actually using it.
This has been like an absolute dream come true. Riding with Larry Chen, the one and only best car photographer out there, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Guys,
Thank
go
you.
follow him on Instagram.
Appreciate
We'll put it in the description. Follow his YouTube. Anything else you want to plug?
If you guys want to purchase some of these prints, I'll probably put some of these up on my print store. So it's
Dude.
LarryChenPrints.com.